beloved, we are gathered here today to
Hey, you're listening to Smoke Meat Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pittman. Smoke Meat's brought to you today, as every day, by Joe's Underground at the corner of 8th and Broad in Augusta, Georgia, down in the bottom of the Lamar building. Such a great place to go. Jeremy and the gang make you feel welcome the whole time you're there, from the first time to every time you're there. They make you feel like family. They got great food, great drinks, great people. You just gotta love going down to Joe's. I know they've been closed for the quarantine, and you know, when Joe's is open, you need to go down there and you need to just have a good old drink with everybody and just sit down and chill and just have a great time. They got live music a lot of times. They'll have comedy. They just make sure everybody just enjoys themselves while they're there. That's Joe's Underground at the corner of 8th and Broad in Augusta, Georgia, in the bottom of the Lamar building. I goes to Joe's, and so should you. Joe's Underground. Now today, people, got a special guest. He is actually my background music right now. It's the Viking rocker, Rocky Kramer. Rocky's such a great guy. Is leader of the Rocky Kramer band. The album is Firestorm. Listen to it, and he has got such a style. He's just an awesome guy and such a nice guy too. So all we're going to do today, just going to kick back, listen to a little bit of Rocky. We're going to talk to Rocky some. Y'all make sure you go on to iTunes or wherever you get your music at and get Firestorm. It is a great album. You won't regret it. So without further ado, here's Rock.
Brother, can I get an amen?
Hey, how you doing today, Rocky?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, if I was any better, I would be twins. I have been excited about this interview. You know, I started listening to you, and man, you've got the gift.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, so how long you been playing? You know, I mean, I know you started fairly young, didn't you?
I did start young. I come from a very musical family, so both my parents were musicians. So we had 2 pianos in the house, we had 2 violins in the house. So we there was a lot of music going on. I was definitely playing the piano just kind of on my own without any lessons when I was very young. And I started playing violin when I was about 5. And so I definitely have that classical background. I was playing a lot of the classical music. I had a violin teacher. I'm actually trained. I learned how to read music at that early age. I wanted to play guitar when I discovered rock and roll, which was maybe a few years later, maybe around 8 or 9. I just thought it was really cool to listen to rock and roll music. So I picked up the guitar for the first time when I was about like that age, like 7 or 8, but I didn't really play guitar until I was about 11. And that's when I really started playing. I was borrowing my brother's acoustic guitar and just playing it all day, wearing it out. And eventually I saved up enough money to buy my own guitar, and that's when I really was focusing on the guitar.
Yeah, outstanding, right? I know it definitely worked. I love your style, you know, I can't really describe it. You just got a style all your own, and it works for me. And
yeah, well, I was influenced by a lot of guitar players that has somewhat of a classical influence or background. So, you know, one of the early guitar players that I listened to was Randy Rhoads, and who had sort of that Vivaldi type of guitar playing. And I also loved Yngwie Malmsteen, who had just a very noticeable classical sound to his guitar playing, even though he's playing metal. Mm-hmm. So I just really enjoyed that sound.
Yeah, I can definitely hear the Randy Rhoads in there. That's for sure. But I can definitely hear the Randy Rhoads.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You know, I love to try to play. It's funny. My family's very musical on my dad's side. All my cousins could pick up a pine tree limb and a shoestring and sound like, anybody. They're great. They could play any instrument just picking it up. I can play the stereo. That's about it. I love the guitar.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, I love the guitar. About the only thing I can really do, I can chicken pick. I can do that style, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
all right.
To me, it's just something so relaxing about doing it. I'm a paramedic full time, and when I was at a younger point in my career, I drove about 40 miles to work through the country to a county that I was working in. We had this place called the Twin Bridges, which is exactly what it sounded like. It was two bridges over little short rivers that looked just alike. So on days when it was this really, really bad shift, I could get under one of those bridges after work. I'd stop, and I carried my guitar with me, and I had a little pig nose amp and one of those Line 6 pot beans, I think it was called. And I would just sit under that bridge and play for 2 hours. And it worked. I mean, it was such good therapy.
It was like a little concert.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was just so great. I mean, I was there by myself in the middle of the woods, and beautiful little river flowing by, and it just kind of washed away the rest of the whole shift that had gone by and gone bad.
Did you ever get attacked by a bear?
No, I think my music kept them away.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
I never said I played it good. I just said I played it.
Mm-hmm.
But I love interviewing musicians because to me music is such one, it's a very personal thing, and two, it's a healing thing.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah, and I know I had 2 strokes 5 years ago, and music actually helped to pull me away from those. It helped to heal me. Are you familiar with a guitarist named Monty Montgomery?
I have a friend that he actually went to school to become a music therapist, and they actually use music to heal people. Obviously, it's not going to heal something like cancer, but from a mental standpoint, I think it is really important. And from a personal standpoint, if I'm feeling very stressed or having anxiety, I always thought that just playing guitar always made me more relaxed. It helped me calm down. But also just listening to music has always been something important to me. Yeah.
And for the first time in a long time, I'm actually without a guitar right now. So I've got to find another one. But I'm bad about it. I'll keep one for about 6 months, and I'll be tired of that one, and I'll get rid of it and go get another one. And the bad thing is I live about 4 miles from a Guitar Center, so that place is the devil. Oh, man. I love Guitar Center.
Oh yeah, it's I love all my life. I love just try a different guitar, see what it's all about, see what the fuss is about. I mean, I play an endorsed Fender. I have I've played Fender since I was 14, but it's always fun to try something you've never tried and just to see what comes out, what kind of music that comes out of it.
Yeah.
I've learned that when you're not feeling inspired, when you're looking for inspiration, just playing a different instrument or a different guitar actually can make a big difference.
Yeah, it definitely can. And I love Fender. Not just saying it because that's who you play. My favorite guitar in the whole world is a Tele.
Mm-hmm.
I love the feeling. I love the sound that comes out of them. It's always been my favorite. And that's great. But yeah, that was one thing I was going to ask you about. Because a lot of people that listen to me, want to know what kind of gear do your people use? I know you play Fenders. I know you love them, and they're jam up guitars. What's your favorite Fender though? If somebody said, all right, you got to get out of the house now and run, you can pick one guitar and take with you. What would it be?
Well, if I have to be very specific, I have a Fender Stratocaster that has 3 humbuckers, which is it's completely custom. It was inspired by, because I'm a big Kiss fan. I love Ace Frehley, and he's known for having the 3 humbuckers. So I wanted to, but he plays the Gibson Les Paul with 3 humbuckers. I was thinking, I haven't seen a Fender Stratocaster with 3 humbuckers, so that's kind of something that I wanted to, I guess, be known for. Is that look? I think it looks very iconic. And let me tell you something. this guitar sounds amazing. I actually have multiple ones with 3 humbuckers, but I have this one. It's called Pearl, and it's because it's a white color, but it's kind of like a pearl looking color. It looks beautiful in person, and it just has a great tone. And I love this guitar to death. I've been playing it for I think I've had it for 5 years now, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, I like the 3 humbucker thing, and I can definitely tell in your sound that. And also a huge Kiss fan. I remember when I was 7, 8 years old, most of my friends, if they got a little money, they'd go out and buy toys. I would go out. I remember we would go to Sky City in Augusta. I lived in a small town outside of Augusta, Georgia, and Sky City was kind of our big thing, going there once or twice a month, and I would buy whatever album Kiss had out on vinyl new. And I remember they were just, I've always loved them. And I remember when Unmasked came out, because we all thought, we saw the covers and the little cartoon with them with the stuff over their face, and we're like, okay, they're going to do it on the inside of the album. And of course, this is before the internet and all that. Of course, they didn't. But I remember I was almost really disappointed when they finally did come out of the makeup.
I'm sure it was disappointing when you found out what they actually look like.
Yeah, it's like
he said, "Put it back on."
Exactly. It's like, holy crap, get it back on you, please. But but yeah, I mean, their music's always been great, and even from a young age, it kind of just touched me. And it's weird, a 7 or 8 year old listening to Kiss and saying that, but it did.
Well, I mean, I started listening to Kiss when I was about 7 or 8, and when now I realize that those are not the lyrics that I should have been listening to at that age. But it's okay. I never really been that much of when I listen to music. I'm more into the guitars. I like listening to drums. I wasn't always thinking so much about the lyrics. I like the melodies and the music for the most part. Yeah. So the lyrics always come. That's always second place. So I just always thought they had great riffs, and I thought Ace has, he comes up with really iconic guitar solos, and Paul is a great singer. Gene is at least an interesting singer, and I think they're a great band.
Yeah, they are. They definitely get showmanship, and a lot of people have the showmanship and not the chops to back it up, but they do. I mean, the harmonies at the end of Detroit Rock City are still some of my favorites in the world. Because I mean, they're so tight. I think my top 2 are those and the ones toward the end of Hotel California. And I just, like I say, I'm like you. When I was a kid, that probably wasn't really the lyrics I should have been listening to. But then I didn't care about lyrics. I'm like you. I listened to the melody. I listened to just the sound, and I loved it, and I still do to this day. I would love to be able to go to one of these final concerts, but that's kind of out right now, so it's killing me.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they are rescheduling their tours, so we'll see. We'll see when it happens. It'll probably be next year or something. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, I know y'all have put off touring for a while because of all the COVID stuff, and I hate that. Or y'all have any plans when you do get the tour of coming near Atlanta?
Yeah. Well, we had a tour, or we were looking at a tour. It was early in the year. We were looking at a tour that would have been a really great tour for us. It was like a summer tour with some big bands, and it would have been I think most of the U.S. I'm not sure about if we were going to play Atlanta, but it probably would have been in Atlanta. And of course, we couldn't do it because of this. It would have been in actually right now I think it was like June, July, August. So that would have been awesome, but I don't know what's going to happen to that now. So we'll see.
Well, when you do get to Atlanta, make sure to let me know. I'm going to still keep up with it on the website and everything, but let me know. And
absolutely.
And the name of the thing is the podcast is called Smoked Meat. It's because I cook and I smoke a lot of meat and grill and that kind of stuff. But when y'all get down here, you're fed. I will make y'all a spread that will just I'll have to do it after the show. If you eat it before the show, you won't be any good for about 3 days. You'll be so full.
That's the Southern way, right?
Oh, man. You ain't kidding. Now,
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I love cooking. This is what I do. And I like to make people smile while they're eating my food. And it's a great thing. Just like, I smile when I'm listening to y'all's music. I've been listening to Firestorm some. I know that's your newest album. And I think my favorite song on there so far is Rockstar.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I love Rockstar. And I watched the video. Who came up with Little Rocky?
So Little Rocky was something that we were thinking about. So just so that people understand, because the lyrics are, I'm a rock star with style. I'm a, rock star in leather and all those things. So that is a dream. So it's not saying, because I know, some people that, because when we were putting up the album, we had this little commercial that we made, and it was just showing the chorus, and people were saying, oh, that's a little, like, if you have to say you're a rock star, you're not really a rock star. And we're like, well, it's actually a dream. So the dream is a teenage Rocky dreaming about being a rock star. So we thought it would make sense to actually have an animated Rocky instead of a real actor playing Rocky, because if it's an animated Rocky, we can use the animated character not only for the music video, but for future purposes. We can make a TV show. We can have a T-shirts and merchandise, and a little, like Kiss does with Kiss dolls. We can have little Rocky dolls and stuff. And we can do whatever we want, and we can have a lot of fun with it for a long time. So it just made a lot of sense, and it was done kind of somewhat of an anime style. Which is mixed with live action, so it's just it's a cool little thing that took a lot of time to make, but we're excited about it. It took us about a year to make that video.
Yeah. Now, who was the teacher?
The teacher is Brandon Shepard, who is a very funny guy, and he was a friend of ours, and he just was telling us about this teacher that he had in school, and it was just this ridiculous teacher, and we thought that he was basically doing like an impression of her. He does impressions very, very well, and we thought, why don't you do the voice of the teacher? So he did the voice on the album, right? Mm-hmm. And he actually did a lot of the other voices too. When you listen to some of those on tracks, all these crazy voices going, Rocky, where is Rocky? That's him doing that.
Nice.
And he just comes up with all these voices. When we were going to shoot the video, it's supposed to be an old lady, grumpy teacher. And Brandon is not an old lady, but we figured, why don't we dress him up like an old lady and, just have some fun with it. I mean, I think there's a little bit of a beard growing there. So is it freaky? Maybe yes, but it's just for comedy. It's to make people laugh. I know some people have said, why didn't you have a real woman play the part? And it's like, well, it wouldn't be funny. We wanted a little bit of that Twisted Sister kind of a look to it. That's rock and roll. That's the '80s. Just be over the top.
Yeah, and I loved him in there, man. I saw the teacher. I'm like, holy cow! And because I've had teachers like that. I think everybody has. And
I think, we've all had teachers like that.
Yeah, and the little bit of a beard. Had teachers like that.
That's right.
But but man, I appreciate you taking your time today and talk to us. And I'm definitely going to keep up. And let me know when you start touring, and we're gonna push it really, really hard.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Hey, anytime. The name of the album's Firestorm. Where all can I get that, Rocky?
The name of the album, it's about. I wrote this when I was a teenager, and I really was like having, I was trying to make my dreams come true.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a frustrating process, and it was kind of in my head. It was like a firestorm in my head. It was just like my head was on fire. It was just driving me nuts, and out of frustration and so on. So it was just, and I think the album tells the story. It's a little bit cryptic at times, and I realized that, and I think I've learned that maybe I should be a little bit clearer, maybe not too enigmatic, but that's something that's notes to myself for the future.
Yeah. Well, I look at it this way: if you're way too clear, it doesn't leave people, people.
Well, exactly. Well, I basically wrote it in a way that it can be interpreted. There's like a simple simple interpretation and a more advanced interpretation, which is more what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
It's trying to have like two messages, a simple one and a complicated one, so that you might think it's about this, and that'll work, that'll be fine, but it's actually more complicated than that, and that's something that if you want to learn more about it, you can.
Yeah.
If you want to, what I mean.
And that's what makes it fun, right there. Plus, the music is amazing. And we're looking forward to hearing more from you. And like I say, I appreciate you coming on here, man. And anytime you're welcome back on here at any time.
Oh well, hey, thanks for having me.
Anytime.